Hello and welcome back to the Solopreneur Insights series, where I share with you the real-time progress of growing my online coaching business and my app startup Spotlite. In this series, I'm sharing with you the weekly updates, the highs and the lows, all the learnings and lessons along the way, so come along with the ride. So to start with, last week I shared with you a lot of shifts which I am making, a lot of changes I'm making to really focus on growth in this season in terms of my audience and my actual numbers in terms of followers. So the growth in that aspect, but also growth in terms of just increasing and just adding more fuel to the fire essentially in terms of more sales within my business from this audience as well. So just being really intentional with the actions I'm taking around this area. So I shared with you last week a few of the things which I'm doing, and I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in today's video on actually the more engagement strategy which I'm doing, because as I mentioned, this is such an important area which most business owners completely ignore. I've been doing this very consistently for a couple of weeks now, and I'm already seeing really amazing results from that. So I'm going to share with you exactly why I'm doing this, what I'm doing, like actual tangible actions on a daily basis. What does it look like on my to-do list essentially? And then how you can actually implement this as well to actually increase your audience growth and your sales as well. So firstly, why is this actually important? It is so important to actually be conversing and having discussions and building relationships with your ideal clients and with your audience, because yes, putting out content is really amazing, and waiting for people to come to us and just putting out sales content is really, really helpful, but it's really difficult to get consistent sales from just this alone. If you weren't speaking to any people, if you weren't actively going out there and taking a bit more active sales actions versus passive ones, like just putting up that you have an offer available, if you aren't taking the active sales actions, it's really difficult to get consistent sales and to also get consistent audience growth as well. So this is a big area, as I said, that I'm really leaning into at the moment. So I'm going to walk you through my exact strategy, exactly what this looks like in my to-do list. And I'll actually put a picture of my to-do list as well in here for you, so you can see what this actually looks like each day with the actions I'm specifically taking now. So the few changes that I have made to my to-do list there is actually firstly posting 4 times a week now. So I used to just post a couple of times a week, a few times a week, but I'm being really intentional to post 4 times a week, including those reels that I mentioned in last week's video as well, which are really just value focused on just being an authority, being a thought leader essentially, and sharing my thoughts, my opinions, my perspectives, and just really valuable teachings with my audience. But then secondly to this as well, I'm really focused on actually engaging with my audience, actually having conversations with people who are currently in my audience, who are really warm leads, but also just brand new people as well, and doing a bit of outreach there and just connecting with people who I know would be ideal clients. So I'll show you exactly what this looks like for me. So I've broken this area down into 4 categories. So the first one is brand new people. They are not following me, they don't know I exist essentially. The second category is cold leads. These are people I've just connected with. We don't have any relationship built so far. They're not actively consuming any of my content, but they're in my pool of people essentially that we've had some connection with at some point. So for them, it's really staying top of mind is the goal there. We have warm leads as well. These are people who are actually engaging already with my content. So those people used to be cold leads, but they themselves are now engaging with my content. They're watching my stories, liking posts, actually responding to things, having conversations with me. And then we have hot leads as well. And these are people who have actively registered they have an interest in working with me. So they've raised their hand for something. We've had a discussion about working together. They've let me know they're potentially interested in that at some point, or they've just really explicitly let me know that they're struggling with something that I can help them with. So when it comes down to what I'm actually doing on an active day-to-day basis here, I'm really challenging myself to spend a lot more time in this area, whereas it was very much a more not non-negotiable task for me before. It was very much an optional thing that I would occasionally do, but I would still see big results from it. So I'm very excited to see long-term how this plays out, of actually the intentional focus. But what I'm really doing essentially is I have a spreadsheet created where I have a section for each of those 4. So I'll include a brief example of it here, but obviously with no names or anything, because I don't want to be showing you that because that's private. But actually what I'll do is I'll have a spreadsheet with those 4 different categories there. And across those, I'll just keep track of who those people are within the categories. So who are the people who are my hot leads at the moment? Also making a note of why they're a hot lead. So was it that they said they were interested in a certain program, or they were talking about working together at a certain time, or anything along those lines? And then I'll have the list of those people there. And then I have it on my to-do list each day to interact with 5 people in each of those categories. That's 20 overall, which can sound like a lot, but it isn't actually a massive amount of time. And it's a really intentional use of your time as well. So essentially each day I will go and find 5 brand new people. So these people who are not currently in my audience, they are not currently following me, but people who I think could potentially be ideal clients. And I just really love their vibe. I feel like we can really connect really naturally, and just going and again, make that really natural connection with them, find something on their profile which I can just really naturally connect with, and we can just start a really natural conversation from there. So nothing spammy, nothing going in and just, randomly liking posts and saying nothing, but actually just forming a natural connection there. Usually what can really help as well, and this is a really great tip, is looking for people and not just randomly typing things in the search bar, unless you're looking for a specific job title or a specific person if you work with copywriters, for example. But what can be really helpful is looking at people who are already really engaged in your audience, going to one of their most recent posts and seeing who has engaged with that most recent post, because it's such a natural connection. It's essentially a friends of friends kind of thing. It's the same as, going up to someone at a party, for example, and saying, we have this mutual connection. They can see straight away that you have this mutual connection. So it just makes it so much easier to form that natural connection and conversation with them. So I'll go and speak to 5 of those people each day, and then they will get added to my cold leads list. With that cold leads list, what I will do is just go in and lightly interact with 5 of those people each day. So that's very light. It's not trying to start a big conversation or anything like that in the way that is with the first category. It's really just going in and just engaging in some way, just so again, I'm staying top of mind for those people. Then I'll do the same with the warm leads and go in with 5 of those people, a bit more of a conversation focus and a bit more of a kind of engagement focus discussion with those people. And then the same with the hot leads as well, of just engaging with those people. So this is really, really helpful to do it across all of these categories, because it means that we have a consistent pipeline of people coming in. It means that we're not just running dry our current audience, but not even thinking about bringing new people in. And also it means that it's really easy for us to track people throughout. If someone comes in through one of those brand new leads and they are going onto my cold leads list, but then they never actually engage with my content, that's completely fine. They'll just drop off of that list. But then if they are actually starting to engage with my content, what I'll do is I will move them over to my warm leads list, because those people on that cold leads list, they're getting recycled and, looked through very regularly to see, okay, who needs to come off the list and who needs to go to warm leads list. And then they'll just move their way up essentially. It's a very natural process then, but it really helps to have that engagement, just to stay top of mind, find those new people as well, and not just rely on the algorithm happening to show you to the right people essentially. Now, this has been super helpful for me because I've already had discussions with several people, potential clients, who just from this process, I'm doing this for a couple of weeks, and I can see in the past, whenever I've done this before, literally every single time I've done this for more than a couple of weeks consistently, I've gotten a client from it. That has just been a fact for me. So I'm very, very excited to see this as being a more permanent addition and actually spending the time and the energy in this area, because I know it's a big priority area for me. So definitely, if this is not something you're actively doing, let this be your sign to start doing it, because it can make the biggest difference for your business, actually just introducing this and getting new people into your audience, but also nurturing people that you literally already have. So that has been the big focus for me in my coaching business over the last week, is really just focusing on engaging with people, focusing on conversations, and kind of getting the results from there. So stay tuned again to see how this really progresses over the long term, because I think it will be a big game changer, and definitely start introducing this in your business if you have not already. So on to the second half of this video, let's talk about Spotlite. So Spotlite is our app startup for online coaches and service providers, helping you with your client communication and just giving you a better client experience overall. So we're really aiming to bring everything that you do with your clients all into one place, all into one app, which is just really easy to use, much better design than anything you've previously used. And we have just started using it with our founding users. So they are officially on the app. They've been on there for almost a couple of weeks now. So they've really been getting to use it, give us all of their feedback. And we've already made some really exciting changes and new releases as well because of that. One of the things which I think is so nice is that because we have this early user group, they're able to give us direct feedback on just their experiences and improving the app for themselves as well by giving us that feedback. But we're able to make changes so far. So we implemented a few things based on some things they were talking about last week. So they've just gone out over the weekend. That was, for example, badge notifications weren't working 100% properly. So we fixed all those. We've also done one really exciting change. We've updated the client home screen. So it now looks like this. And it is such a big shift from kind kind of what people are used to seeing in other apps, in that you're not just seeing the, basic messaging feature, you're actually seeing the important details that you need to know. So you're seeing the contract start and end dates, you're seeing the progress that you've made so far through this, and you're seeing as well the contact details for your coach or for your service provider, and just the really important things that you want to see essentially when you're working in a professional relationship with someone. So I think this is just really taking the client experience already just to a new level from any other app that any client has experienced previously, and we've got some amazing feedback on that so far, so that is very exciting. But we're really starting to as well work on the automation side and bringing that out, which again is going to be such a game changer, because it means that not only are we able to, provide that better experience and the enhanced experience when you're actually in the app, but also make it so much easier for the service provider, for the coach, to actually schedule some messages in advance, automate your onboarding process, automate your weekly check-ins, or sending a monthly progress form, or offboarding even, and just make it so much easier for you to run your business, give a really amazing client experience without it taking a ton of your time or a ton of your energy as well. So lots of exciting things happening over there with Spotlite, and I really love the fact that we're able to not just get this feedback, but really implement on it really quickly and make some really amazing changes as well, make some really amazing progress in that direction. So those are the updates from this week and how everything is going. We are in Mallorca for our final weeks. This is the final week of having the palm tree background as well, unfortunately. We will be back to London at the weekend and then off to Copenhagen as well. So my next video will be from London and then we'll be from Copenhagen after that. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments, as usual, what you would like to see more of. If you'd like me to break down a little bit more some of these strategies which I'm using and the results that I'm seeing from that as well, definitely let me know. And I will see you in the next video. I will see you back in London, where hopefully it's as nice as this, but there will not be any palm trees, unfortunately. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.